What's good, guys? This is Charles from Team COG coming at you guys here with a combo tutorial video featuring, yet again, Infernoble Knights. If you guys don't know, this deck is literally, I love this deck. And I'm going to always be trying to do combos and stuff like that. I love sitting down and engineering this deck and running through the all the motions of it, essentially. I really enjoy it. And yeah, so without further ado, please remember, if you guys enjoy this type of content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, ding that notification bell. Check us out on Twitch. Like I said, this video is going up my first week back to work, so hopefully by next week I'll be able to get and do some more live streams and stuff like that of live play and all that fine jazz. But anyway, without further ado, today we're going to show you a plethora of combos utilizing Renault and like Stake Your Soul and stuff like that. So we'll just go ahead and jump on into like the first combo sequence to get into. Okay, guys, so the first combo sequence is pretty much Spar, or like essentially Uppercutter. And any way to Renault. So they get you to a particular combo sequence. Now, I'm going to showcase you all the ways that you do this. I'm just going to showcase you guys like potentially like the routes, right? So if you open Spar plus Renault, this is like the weakest version of the combo sequence. And this could also be attributed to like Box or Spar plus like these two cards here. But if you happen to have access to any of these guys here, on Durandal, Chalice, or Museum, and these get you access to Renault, your combo ends significantly better. And this is the only variation. I guess the same thing could be said with Spar as well. If you have any of the Noble Knight names, whether it be Malgus, Turpin, Ogier, etc., even if Ogier gets negated, the combo sequence, it doesn't matter if you open any variable of these. It's just with Spar not being able to equip itself, you need to have that additional equip to trigger the Angelica. Otherwise, you're losing a lot of resource and losing a lot of value. That's where, like I said, hard opening Renault and or Rhoda doesn't do the same thing as if you open Spar plus any of these, right? So with that being said, we'll quickly just go ahead and jump into the combo sequence here and show you all what I'm talking about. So the first thing you do is you normal summon out your Spar, as in so. You equipped it with Durandal, or you activate Hairs of Chalice, search Durandal, activate Museum, search. It doesn't matter. Durandal's effect to add yourself the Renault. Go ahead and destroy the Durandal. You go ahead and special summon out the Renault. Renault will add back the Durandal, and this is why this is important, because if you didn't, you'd have no way to trigger Angelica except by throwing away the next equipped you would get. So we're going to go ahead and synchro right on here into Angelica. Angelica's effect is going to go ahead and search us out a Museum. We'll go ahead and activate the Museum over here. We'll go ahead and pay 12 to go ahead and grab yourself Almas. Almas is really important here because it's what's going to allow us to recur the Gearfried. But that Durandal that we ended up using very early on to get to Renault is where this is where it comes in. You go ahead and equip it to Angelica. You use Angelica's effect. You're going to go ahead and send Ogier to the graveyard. Angelica's then going to do what Angelica does best, and that is banish herself to summon out her husband, her man-in-arms, Roland. We'll then go ahead and use the Ogier to equip itself, and then go ahead and use Museum to move up the Ogier. Ogier's effect, when it is summoned, you get to send a Fire Warrior and equip spell. We're going to go ahead and send Gearfried from our main deck to the graveyard. We then will synchro here into our manned Emperor Charles. And then we can go ahead and equip Almas to the Emperor Charles, and then link these off into Emperor Charles the Great. Now you'll end up going Chainlink 1, Almas, Chainlink 2, Charles the Great. Charles the Great will equip Charles. Almas will grab back Gearfried and add it to your hand. And right here, we can go ahead and use Gearfried's effect, reveal it in hand, to banish the Almas, to go ahead and summon itself out here. Now we can go ahead and move on to the end phase, where Charles will pick up this and then equipped from the deck, whether your choice be Malgus or Oliver, whatever you would like, and resummon back out Angelica. So again, 2 cards get you to almost 3 forms of disruption. You have a spell and trap negate with Charles, a monster effect negate with Gearfried, and a pop, and a potential draw 1, which I guess could draw you into a hand trap, or etc., or something like that. But again, in terms of combo viability and what the cards you're putting in and what you're getting out is pretty good. And I will quickly go ahead and showcase you guys what happens if you open like Malgus. So like when you open one of the Infernoble names versus just like Spar or Uppercutter. And Uppercutter will, if Uppercutter gets with a hand trap, this is essentially what you have to do. And yeah, we'll just quickly move on into the next combo sequence here. Okay, so here we go. We have any Noble Knight name, and I'll showcase you guys in another combo sequence where if you open like Oliver, what is the particular combo sequence you can do with Oliver, but it gets you to essentially the same thing. And this is with any of the Noble Knight names, whether it be Malgus, Turpin, Ogier, etc. As long as you open any of them plus Renault, you're able to do this combo, and it's just essentially the cookie cutter combo that the deck should be able to perform and do. But you're able to do this with every one of the variables I showed you before, the Rhoda, Chalice, Durandal, Museum, Whereas Rhoda and Renault didn't do the same thing because of the not having the ability to equip or having equipped in rotation to be able to trigger the Angelica. So to start with, you're going to normal summon your Infernoble name. For this case, we'll choose the worst one, which is Malgus, and we'll special summon out Renault. Renault can't use its effect here to grab from the graveyard, so do take note if you're keep doing some freestyling and something like that due to disruption, you can eventually use Renault later on in the same sequence if it comes up. But we're going to go ahead and synchro here into Angelica, and then we're going to go ahead and use Angelica's effect to go ahead and search out the field spell. We'll then go and activate the field spell over here, and then we'll pay 12 to go ahead and search. You could potentially search, if you're post-side deck, this is something important as well, post-side deck, if you're siding into Roland and Angelica's Ring, you can go Durandal to search Roland trigger Angelica, and then you get the same inboard plus Angelica's Angel Ring. Not the same inboard, you get access to Angelica's Angel Ring this way. But for the sake of the video, we're going to go ahead and grab Almas. You could technically grab Joyous, but Almas is just good as well. It doesn't matter which one. We'll go ahead and activate the Malgus effect engraved to attempt to equip to itself to Angelica, and then we'll chain Angelica, sending Ogier. And then, of course, she banishes herself, summoning out the Roland. We'll go ahead and use Ogier's effect to equip itself to the Roland, and then we'll use Museum's effect, moving Ogier up, and then, of course, sending down Gearfried. You'll then synchro here into our Emperor Charles, and Emperor Charles comes out. We'll then quickly equip Almas. And then, of course, like the previous combo before, as you guys have seen, we'll go into Charles, Chainlink 1 Almas, Chainlink 2 Charles, to go ahead and equip the Infernoble Knight, and to grab back our Gearfried here. We'll then activate this to go ahead and banish here to summon out the Gearfried, and then this is the end of the combo sequence. Potentially, you could actually, now thinking back at it, you could grab Almas, and then go Almas to destroy itself, to go ahead and equip from the deck Joyous, and then use Joyous to add back, so that way when you banish, you have this in rotation. So that's better to do that way, so that way during the end phase, Charles can pick up the Almas, and since you technically used Malgus here, we'll go ahead and grab ourselves Oliver from the deck, but it's okay if you happen to use like Turpin or anything like that, you can still get to this point here. So that's it for this combo. Again, that's with any of the noble names, and that's like, normal summon Ogier here, it gets hit with N-Perm, Ash, Valor, you name it. You normal summon out Malgus, Turpin. I'll quickly show you guys like combo sequence with Oliver here, because Oliver's like the one oddball out, simply because Oliver's a tuner, so you have to play it like a little bit differently, and then we'll move on into the Stake Your Soul combos. Okay, so with Oliver, guys, Oliver's a little bit different with it being a tuner. You can't use Renault because you can't synchro using 2 tuners. So again, pretty much Heir to the Chalice, Rhoda, Durandal, and Almas. If you happen to open Oliver, you just end up searching yourself out the Fire Flint Lady, and you get to this really simplistic combo. Now, of course, if you open, there's a lot of freestyling. If you open like cards to discard, or you open like Oliver plus another one of the level 4 names, you get to discard things. But this is just showcasing you, like if you just open Oliver plus a way to Flint Lady, plus, like say you open like cross out Triple T call by, like you're just goated, right? But this is what you'd have to do. Your search would have to be used on Fire Flint Lady, and I'll showcase you guys this combo sequence here. And just for the sake of the video, we will just go ahead and say it's this right here, because why not? Beautiful QCR. We go ahead and we'll activate this right here. We get ashed, we cry, but we're good at the game, so we're not going to get ashed. To go ahead and search out Fire Flint Lady, you normal summon out the Oliver, and you activate Flint Lady to summon itself. Here, just like the previous 2 combos I showed you, you go ahead and make Angelica, and you use Angelica's effect to go ahead and search yourself Museum. You go ahead and activate Museum, go ahead and pay 12 to go ahead and grab yourself Almas, and then you go ahead and use the Oliver's effect in Graveyard to attempt to target the Angelica. Now, if you happen to open, say, Joyous, Durandal, or something, a throwaway equipped, you can go ahead and equip Oliver here, and then you can use one of your throwaway equip spells to be able to trigger the Angelica, so that way she can't be hit with N-Perm. But in the sake of this combo sequence, we're not going to do that. Again, Angelica's effect will chain to Oliver, and you'll go ahead and send your Ogier. Angelica flees, and then out comes Roland. We'll go ahead and use Ogier's effect to equip, and just as the previous combos before, Museum to move forward, this is the same combo sequence you get to, and this is what makes this like particular line really consistent, is that no matter what happens, you're always going to get access. As long as you can make Angelica in any way, shape, or form, you get to this sequence, and that means the other 3 cards in your hand are potentially just further extenders that you can just use and abuse, which is pretty wild, which means, and essentially like any extender, if you get access to an additional Museum, that's an extra Charles onto the grain field, which is pretty crazy. But we equipped Almas. Go ahead and use Almas to go ahead and grab out here. We'll go ahead and use Joyous effect to go ahead and add ourselves back the Gearfried, and then we'll go ahead and use Roland's effect here to equip. Link these things off here. For Charles, Charles effect to equip the Charles. Gear free by banishing Joyous. And then, of course, during the end phase, you get to equip here. And since you had to use the Oliver in this sequence, you'll just go ahead and grab the Malgus. And then Angelica returns. I know this is kind of crazy, I'll put Angelica here just so I can, like, my opponent will be, like, make an Anima target her, and then I can trigger her effect. And then Anima can, like, send things and do stuff like that. But anyway, so this is it for, so essentially, I could go through all the Infernoble names, the Spar, all the scenarios, and show you guys, you know, essentially what happens or how to do this. But this is the same combo, rinse, wash, repeat over and over and over. And so for the most part, I'm just going to jump into a Stake Your Soul combo sequence, and we'll just go ahead and get into that and move right on there. Okay, guys, so here's the Stake Your Soul combo. So, of course, if you are trying to do this combo sequence, pretty much reinforcing the army here, the Chalice can get you to Ogier. If you happen to open, like, any of the other cards I showed you at the beginning, Museum, Durandal, etc., if you have another fire in your hand, whether it be Ash Blossom or, like, Ricciardetto or something like that, you can reveal that with Stake Your Soul to go ahead and summon out the Vanquish Soul Raisin, and then you can equip or search your equip to equip to Raisin to then search you Ogier. And then your combo sequence changes if you use that line, because you have to, like, send and then add certain things a little bit differently. But for the most part, this is just going to show you what Stake Your Soul plus Ogier gets you. So to start out with, we go ahead and go Stake Your Soul, reveal the Ogier to go ahead and summon out Raisin. We then go ahead and normal summon out the Ogier. Ogier's effect will send the Battle Boxer Spar. And then we just do what 2 level 4s on the field. We go ahead and make Battle Boxer Dempsey. Dempsey's effect will grab us the Renault from the deck. And then normally, if you guys remember, we would have to, like, detach, but we don't have to do that in this sequence. So we go ahead and special Renault, add back the Spar. Spar is not once per turn, so we special out the Spar again, just at the cost of our battle phase. Whereas if we're going first, we don't worry about that. To go ahead and make our Angelica. Angelica's effect on summon goes ahead and searches us Museum. We go ahead and activate Museum. Paying 12, we'll go ahead and search yourself out Durandal. Now, if you had to use Durandal early on to get access to that, you would search out Almas here, but for the sake of it, we're just going to go ahead and just go ahead and grab Durandal. We'll go ahead and detach here from the Dempsey to go ahead and you have to detach Ogier. It has to specifically be Ogier. There's no flexibility here. I will go ahead and attempt to equip Ogier to the Angelica. We chain Angelica's effect, and now we go ahead and we send our Battle Boxer Uppercutter. Angelica runs to go grab her husband. This falls off. And we go right here. Of course, Uppercutter's effect will trigger to go ahead and summon out the Spar, because if you guys don't know, Battle Boxer Uppercutter says, if this card is sent to the graveyard by card effect, you can activate one of these effects. Special one Battle Boxer monster from your graveyard except Uppercutter. So it was sent to the graveyard by Angelica's effect. We summon here, and we go ahead and transform this into our Charles. We then can go ahead and activate Durandal. We go ahead and use Durandal's effect to go ahead and search ourselves out our Turpin. We will then go ahead and equip out our Roland here, and then we'll go ahead and link down here for our Charles. Charles' effect will then equip the Charles, and this is where we have to be you have to, like, be very careful of the sequence and get lost in the sauce. We'll go ahead and special summon out the Turpin since we control a monster with a equip spell, and this just means Turpin will not get banished when it leaves the field. So then we go ahead and link these into SP Little Knight, wherever it may be, SP Little Knight. And then we go ahead and use Museum's effect to move forward the Charles since we didn't have to do that. And then we'll go ahead and equip Turpin to it. And then you just link these down here into our second Charles, equipping this right here. And then here comes Angelica back during the end phase. And then, of course, your Charles can pick up the Durandal along with your choice of Malgus or Oliver from deck. So we will just whichever one we find first. There we go. So again, Stake Your Soul plus, like, Ogier gets you potentially to this, which is insane when you think about it. You put 2 cards in. We'll actually just move Angelica over here because of glare. But you get 2 cards in, and so you pretty much get 1, 2 disruptions, 3 disruptions, 4 disruptions out of 2 cards, which is pretty crazy. And of course, if they seem to out certain things, you can potentially reborn back out the Ogier due to Durandal going to the graveyard. Ogier will send the Malgus if you didn't equip it instead, and then you get to shuffle back and get a draw. So yeah, guys, but I think that'll wrap it up for these combos. If you guys want to see more combos, just hop on over on stream when we decide to stream on Twitch and stuff like that. But comment down below what you guys have been experimenting with. I know this is probably not the most popular thing due to the Snake Eye stuff being popular, but I think for just pure Infernoble, for what it can do, this is tremendous, and it's pretty much very well stands a chance against what exists now in the meta. But without further ado, guys, please stay safe, stay healthy. This is Charles from Team COG, signing out.